Hi, welcome to day 5 of Creation Virtual VBS, which has been designed for the Upper Perkiomen Valley community. My name is Becky Shanley and I serve as pastor of St. John's Lutheran Church in Sumneytown, and I hope that you have been enjoying your week so far. Today we continue with day 5 of creation, and so I invite you to hear these words from the creation story that is captured in the first chapter of the book of Genesis. And God said, "Let the waters bring forth swarms of living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth across the dome of the sky." So God created the great sea monsters and every living creature that moves of every kind, with which the waters swarm, and every winged bird of every kind. And God saw that it was good. God blessed them, saying, "Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters in the seas, and let birds multiply on the earth." And there was evening, and there was morning, the 5th day. In addition to the creation story from day 5, we're also going to be digging into another familiar story from the Old Testament, the story of Jonah and the great big fish. You're in for a real treat as we explore sea and air today, but first, let's take some time to relearn our theme song for the week, "God Saw That Everything Was Good."
Hi everyone, my name is Pastor Sydney, and I am here to teach you all the theme song for this week's Creation Vacation Bible School. Now, this song is very special to me. It's important because my dad actually wrote this song. It's called "God Saw That Everything Was Good." And it's about the creation story from the Bible, the story that we're hearing and learning about this week in Bible school. So I'm here to teach you the chorus of the song and the hand motions that go with it. And then we will go ahead and sing the whole song together so that way we can learn it. Hopefully you have the lyrics in front of you and you'll be able to follow along. But the chorus goes like this. God saw that everything was good, everything created on the earth, oceans and seas, land and the breeze. God saw that everything was good. Again, God saw that everything was good, everything created on the earth, oceans and seas, land and the breeze. God saw that everything was good. So I'll teach you the hand motions, and that will help you to learn the song. So the first word is God, and we take both our fingers, our pointer fingers, our first fingers, and we point them to the sky for God. God saw that everything, and with everything we take our hands and extend them out in front of us in a nice sweeping motion, gesturing to everything. So God up to the sky, God saw that everything was good. And on good, we take our hands and we cross them over our heart to recognize that it's good and that it's built with love. So it goes, God, point to the sky, saw that everything, sweeping motion, was good. Cross your chest. So God saw that everything was good. And then the next lyric is everything. So you gesture out to everything again. Created. And for created, you take your fists and you tap them once on top of each other and then the other hand on top of your fists. So everything created on the earth. And with the earth, you take your hands and you raise them above your head in a circle to form the earth. So it goes, everything created on the earth. Okay? And then oceans and seas, you take your hand and you make waves with your hand and your arm. And so you move it up and down, oceans and seas. And then for land, you stop your arm and you keep it straight to the land and the breeze. And on breeze, you take your arm up and you just kind of blow it gently like it's being blown in the wind or in the breeze, right? So it goes oceans and seas, wave motion, land, you stop that, and the breeze. And then your arm goes upward in a gentle wave, okay? And then it repeats, God saw that everything was good. So again, God up to the sky saw that everything was good. So let me teach that a little bit faster. So it goes, God saw that everything was good, everything created on the earth, oceans and seas, land and the breeze. God saw that everything was good. Okay, now let's sing it together. I think we can do it. Ready? Here we go. It starts with God, point upwards. God saw that everything was good, everything created on the earth, oceans and seas, land and the breeze. God saw that everything was good. One more time. God saw that everything was good, everything created on the earth, oceans and seas, land and the breeze. God saw that everything was good. Good job, everyone. Now let's go ahead and sing it all together, and we're going to hear the song from the very top. Here we go. Ready? God saw that everything was good, everything created on the earth, oceans and seas, land and the breeze. God saw that everything was good. Some say the world is God's garden, beauty for all to enjoy. Birds and bees, flowers and trees, God saw that everything was good. Chorus. God saw that everything was good, everything created on the earth, oceans and seas, land and the breeze. God saw that everything was good. God created us in His image, humankind created together, equal and sharing, loving and caring. God saw that everything was good. Chorus. God saw that everything was good, everything created on the earth, oceans and seas, land and the breeze. God saw that everything was good. In the beginning, God looked around and wanted to make something new. First there was darkness, then came the light. The earth was made in 6 full days. God rested on the 7th day. Chorus. God saw that everything was good, everything created on the earth, oceans and seas, land and the breeze. God saw that everything was good. God saw that everything was good. God saw that everything was good. One last time. God saw that everything was good. Thank Thank you, everyone. Great job. I hope you like that song as much as I do. I'm looking forward to singing it every day this week. Bye.
Hello everyone, I'm Mrs. Aldinger,
And I'm Mr. Aldinger.
and we're going to teach you a song about Jonah. The verses are really short, so I'll sing one verse at a time, and then you'll repeat it with us. Let's sing. God asked Jonah to obey, to obey, to obey. God asked Jonah to obey, but he said no. God asked Jonah to obey, to obey, to obey. God asked Jonah to obey, but he said no. So from God he ran away, ran away, ran away. So from God he ran away, he made a huge mistake. So from God he ran away, ran away, ran away. So from God he ran away, he made a huge mistake. Jonah was swallowed by a fish, by a fish, by a fish. Jonah was swallowed by a fish, swallowed whole. Jonah was swallowed by a fish, by a fish, by a fish. Jonah was swallowed by a fish, swallowed whole. Jonah prayed to God above, God above, God above. Jonah prayed to God above and was forgiven. Jonah prayed to God above, God above, God above. Jonah prayed to God above and was forgiven. Jonah was spit out on the land, on the land, on the land. Jonah was spit out on the land, ready to obey. Jonah was spit out on the land, on the land, on the land. Jonah was spit out on the land, ready to obey. Jonah went to Nineveh, Nineveh, Nineveh. Jonah went to Nineveh, he was preaching. Jonah went to Nineveh, Nineveh, Nineveh. Jonah went to Nineveh, he was preaching. I'll obey like Jonah did, Jonah did, Jonah did. I'll obey like Jonah did and tell about the Lord. I'll obey like Jonah did, Jonah did, Jonah did. I'll obey like Jonah did and tell about the Lord. And tell about the Lord. And tell about the Lord. Thank you for singing with us. I hope you like the Jonah song.
Hi there, I'm Mrs. Carlin, and I'm going to read to you out of my Spark Bible the story of Jonah and the big fish. When I read from my Spark Bible in Sunday school class, we like to point out and look for the little critter, because he always is making some cute little faces. On the front page, you can see the little critter. And let's see what he's doing in the story of Jonah and the big fish. Jonah was called by God to go to Nineveh, to go warn the people that they weren't living the way God wanted them to live. Let's see what happened to Jonah. Jonah and the big fish. One day, when Jonah was just minding his own business, God spoke to him. God said, "Jonah, I want you to go to Nineveh and tell the people that I know they aren't living the way I want them to, and I want them to change their ways." You see the little critter? Jonah may have started with the right idea,
But once he started walking, Jonah began thinking about what a long way it was to Nineveh. Jonah thought, I don't really want to go to Nineveh. I'll go the other way. God will never know. So Jonah walked and walked away from Nineveh. When Jonah got to the sea, he paid to get into a boat to take him even further away. Jonah yawned. All that walking made me so tired. I'm going to take a nap. Jonah curled up on a pile of rope and fell asleep. But God saw Jonah. Whoosh! God sent a strong wind that tossed the ship to and fro. The sailors were so afraid that they started throwing things overboard to make the boat lighter and save themselves. The sailors worried, what's going on? See the little critter? He looks scared too. They woke Jonah up. God is mad. He's mad at me for not listening, Jonah said. So throw me overboard. And they did. Suddenly, the sea was calm again. Look out, Jonah. Here comes a big fish. Gulp, gulp, gulp. The fish swallowed Jonah, and Jonah sat inside the dark, smelly fish for 3 days and 3 nights. Jonah prayed, help me, God, I am sorry. Finally, the fish spit Jonah out onto the beach. Blah! Trudge, trudge, trudge. Jonah went to Nineveh. He told the people what God had said, and they believed him, and they changed the way that they were living. God was happy that the people of Nineveh were now living as God wanted. The end.
Hi, I am Mrs. Krause, and I am here to teach you your environmental connection. We all can do our part to protect God's creatures in the ocean, on land, and in the seas by managing waste. Waste is anything we throw away or get rid of that doesn't get used. It's important to get rid of our trash the right way, though. Unfortunately, some people litter, and this allows trash to get into our environment. The largest accumulation of plastic litter that has ended up in the ocean is located between Hawaii and California, around the Pacific Islands. This is called the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. It is bigger than Texas. Many birds, turtles, and other sea animals go to Pacific Islands to lay their eggs and raise their young. Unfortunately, they eat the smaller pieces of plastic thinking that it is food. The animals also get caught in this garbage. This waste causes the death of 1 million seabirds and 10,000 sea animals every year. Let's learn more about the Great Pacific Garbage Patch.
The world produces enough plastic each year to build 50 pyramids of Giza. That's over 350 million tons of candy wrappers, PVC pipes, and synthetic t-shirts. While most of it ends up in landfills, 8 million tons of plastic winds up in our oceans each year, where most of it finds its way into massive garbage patches around the world. And the biggest of them all is called the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. If you picked up each piece of plastic in the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, you'd carry away about 1.8 trillion individual pieces. That's 10 times more plastic pieces than there are stars in our Milky Way galaxy. And it would weigh a whopping 80,000 tons, equivalent to the weight of 3 Statues of Liberty. Half of the entire patch is made of plastic fishing nets, lines, and ropes, which come from intense fishing activity near the area. The other half is mostly hard plastics and films, like water bottles and plastic wrap. But don't let the name Great Pacific Garbage Patch fool you. It doesn't look like a giant mountain of trash at all. It's actually scattered over a region of ocean that's twice the size of Texas, according to some estimates. So if you wanted to pick up every piece of plastic, it would take you 121 days at a walking pace of 5 kilometers per hour to cover the entire area. Though in reality, there's no true end, since the garbage patch is constantly ebbing and flowing with the ocean currents. But let's pretend we could scoop it all up into one place. There'd be enough plastic to fill 100 Boeing 747 planes. And the patch is only getting bigger. It's actually been growing exponentially larger for nearly 70 years. Partly because once the plastic is there, it'll stick around for centuries. Those plastic fishing lines, for example, will take 600 years to break down. And even after they break down, the damage doesn't stop there. Most end up as microplastics that are too small to see with the naked eye, but can make it into the bellies of sea animals, and ultimately, the humans that will eat those animals. Worldwide, researchers have found ingested microplastics in every species of sea turtle, nearly 60% of whale species, and almost 60% of seabirds. Plus, more plastic is pouring into the world's oceans each day. In fact, experts estimate that by the year 2050, the amount of plastic in the oceans will outweigh all the world's fish. Think about that the next time you toss your water bottle in the trash because the recycling's full.
We can help God's creatures by reducing our waste, reusing materials whenever possible, and recycling everything possible. We should encourage our friends and families to do the same. Practice all three: reduce, reuse, recycle every day. This is not only important for a healthy environment, but it can also be fun too. Are you ready to help make our world a safe and healthy place? Let's start with reduce. Take a look at your trash and think about what you can do to reduce the amount of trash you make. Could you stop using paper plates and plastic bags and instead use washable plates and containers? Think of some more ideas your family can do to reduce the amount of waste you create. Measure the trash. Go have a family challenge and see if you can have less trash bags from one week to the next week. Next comes reuse. Is there anything in your trash that you could reuse? A glass bottle could be cleaned and reused as a vase for a friend. A cleaned egg carton could become a container for planting seeds or a place to sort and store beads. A glass jar can be cleaned and reused for storage or as a candle holder or pencil holder. Could you make something new out of cleaned trash? How about a musical instrument, a bird feeder, or a piece of art? There are many ways we can reuse our trash so that we make less trash. And finally, recycle. Do you have separate containers at your house for waste that you can recycle? Is your container clearly marked so guests know where to put recyclable waste materials?
Do what you can to make sure the waste in your house is in the correct containers. Get extra trash bins if needed, and label them with signs. Sort your trash into the correct containers. Do you think you need to make some signs for your house? If so, now's your chance. Grab some paper, crayons, markers, and make signs so that when you're at your house, people know where to put plastic bottles or glass bottles so that they don't end up in the trash. Would you like to take it a step further? You could go on a walk with your family and bring a trash bag to collect litter. Wear disposable gloves to protect your hands. Be sure to separate the waste that can be recycled. Only do this if you can do it with a grown-up. Thank you for helping to keep all of God's creatures safe by protecting our environment and managing waste.
So another activity that you can do to help take care of God's earth is to get 2 trash cans. You can mark one of them recycle and one of them trash. And then you and your family or you and your friends can go around your house and around your yards and your neighborhood and pick up recycling and trash to help clean up God's world. Have fun.
Hi everyone, this is Mrs. Havanik here, and I am here to explain today's craft. You are going to be creating a recycled water bottle, Jonah and the Big Fish sun catcher. It's exciting. This is what you're going to need in order to make your project. You are going to need a water bottle. Okay, you are also going to need some Sharpie markers, permanent, any kind of permanent marker really. Think of the colors that you think of when you imagine the ocean. And then you're going to need some fishing line and finally a pair of scissors. That's it. If you don't have those items gathered, go ahead and pause the video and gather these items. All right, so this project is going to remind us that God wants us to do our best to take care of the oceans and protect sea life and birds. There are 5 steps in order to make your sun catcher today. And I am going to carefully review the steps, and then I will hold up this banner at the end so that you have them on one slide, or you can pause it and go ahead and make your own project. Okay, so what you're going to do to start is you get your water bottle. You say, oh, I have a label on here. Get some help with this if you need help, because you know it might be tricky. Like this label's a little bit sticky, so I'm going to pull it off the best I can. There, I did pretty good. I have a little bit left on there. I can take care of that later, all right? And then the next job is to go ahead and cut the bottom part off. And we're going to save that for later because we're going to use that to make our Jonah and the Big Fish. So notice how I'm doing this. And this part, again, you might need help. I poked a hole, but very carefully, because I don't want to cut myself. And I notice I have a little bit of water as it's dripping onto my pants in the bottom of this bottle. So I cut the bottom off. Please don't worry about it being perfect. It does not have to be perfect, okay? The next thing you do, and this is the fun part, the reason why we cut the bottom off early is because you can put your hand in it, and you are going to color your bottle any way you want with the permanent markers, okay? You can scribble, you can make a design, you can make a pattern, you can do stripes, you can do zigzag lines, you can write your name over and over again. It really doesn't matter how you color your bottle. I actually have a picture of my bottle before I cut it that you can look at and maybe get inspired for yours, okay? So this is a picture of my bottle. As you can see, if I hold it close up, I really just scribbled on it with the colors that I think of when I think of the ocean, all right? So that's your next job. While you're coloring, everyone go ahead and start coloring. While you're coloring, think about the 3 R's that we talked about earlier. Reduce, reuse, and recycle. Think about what they mean and what you can do in order to help preserve the sea life and our oceans. All right, next, now that you have, pretend this is colored, okay? Now that you have a colored bottle, you are going to take your scissors and you're going to cut. And again, we're not going for perfection here. It does not have to be perfect. Sometimes my scissors are getting caught. Sometimes I'm cutting a thinner line. Sometimes I'm cutting a thicker line. There's really no wrong way to do this, but you're just going to cut until you get to the skinny part of the bottle, okay? So it looks like this, alrighty? Finally, what you're going to do is you are going to take your fishing line, tie a knot, unscrew the cap, put the knot inside, and then screw the cap back on, okay? And then you'll have your sun catcher. But we want to help remember today's story. So what I did, as you can see on my example, okay, what I did is with the top of the bottle, I created a Jonah, he's down lower, and a big fish. So, you know, you might need help in order to create your Jonah and the big fish. But I just, as you can see, it's a very simple drawing, okay? So that is my completed Jonah and the big fish recycled water bottle sun catcher. And of course, the next thing I want to do is go outside, hoping for a sunny day, and hang it up. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Hi friends, I'm Mrs. Truskowski and I have some friends here today with me. I have Dylan, Chase, and Madison, and they're going to help me show you how to play a game. So today's lesson, you read or heard the story about God's creation, and then you heard a story about Jonah and the whale. So the game that we're going to play today is played like Duck, Duck, Goose, but it's whale, whale, Jonah. So this is how you play the game. Whale, 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 Jonah. And then when you hit Jonah, it's like when you would say goose, and then they have to get up and they have to go. Okay, it's your turn.
Jonah.
Jonah?
Oh my God. That was so close. It's like
Yo, whale.
whale.
Whale. Whale.
What?
Whale, Jonah.
And that is how you play whale, whale, Jonah. Have fun playing the game.
Hello, my name is Elizabeth from St. John's Lutheran Church. Today I will be making Jonah and the Big Fish Bowl Jello treats. For this, you will need Sour Patch Kids for Jonah, Swedish Fish for the whale, Nerds for the gravel and sand at the bottom of the ocean, and blue Jello for the water. Let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is make our Jello. I poured the packet into the bowl, and then you add a cup of boiling water. Then you mix this around until it is all dissolved. After you've stirred the hot water in, you add a cup of really cold water, which you put in the freezer. You pour this in and mix until it is all put together. Now that you've mixed all your Jello together, you're going to put it in the fridge to cool down for 15 minutes. Now you can create your cups. Add enough Nerds to cover the bottom of the cups. However many you want to add is up to you. Now that your Jello is cooled, you're going to pour them into your cups. As we found out while we were practicing, the color of the Nerds bleeds into the Jello. So we're going to show you an alternative way to do it by pouring the Jello into the cups and transferring them to the Nerds after they are set. Some of the Nerds may float to the top of the Jello in this one that we were doing with the nerds already in it, but they usually float back to the bottom. If you're choosing to do it with the Jell-O and transferring it to the nerds later, make sure you fill the cup less full. Now that you have filled your cups, you're going to take them and put them in the fridge for a couple of hours until they are set. So now that your Jell-O is set, you're going to put in Jonah and the whale. As you can see, the colors are different from where the nerds blended in with the Jell-O. So for this one, the one without the nerds on the bottom, you will flip it into the cup that has the nerds right here. Now that you've flipped your Jell-O into the cup, you're going to cut a larger slit and a smaller slit. So for the whale and Jonah. So I'll cut the slit for the whale. Try to keep, if you want to see it best, you should keep it in the front of in as much of the front as the cup as possible. So then you insert your whale and slit, and make sure it's deep enough because otherwise it won't work as well. And you will then insert your whale into the slit, and the gel sort of covers it again. And then you make a smaller slit. It might have to be a little bit farther back depending on where you do it, and then you slip him in, sort of like the whale is spitting him out if you can. You can't really see it as good in this one as it's not as clear. Then I'll try and put in this one, maybe you can see it a bit better. So insert whale right here, and take Jonah and put him in here. And this will make your Jonah and the whale Jell-O treats. Now that you've made your snack, you should probably enjoy it right away, otherwise the candy will get soggy. Thank you for watching my snack.
Now that you've learned the song, we're going to sing it from the beginning to the end. Let's sing. God has Jonah to obey, to obey, to obey. God has Jonah to obey, but he said no. So from God he ran away, ran away, ran away. So from God he ran away, he made a huge mistake. Jonah was swallowed by a fish, by a fish, by a fish. Jonah was swallowed by a fish, swallowed whole. Jonah prayed to God above, God above, God above. Jonah prayed to God above and was forgiven. Jonah was spit out on the land, on the land, on the land. Jonah was spit out on the land, ready to obey. Jonah went to Nineveh, Nineveh, Nineveh. Jonah went to Nineveh, he was preaching. I'll obey like Jonah did, Jonah did, Jonah did. I'll obey like Jonah did and tell about the Lord, and tell about the Lord. Thanks for joining us.
Ready? God saw that everything was good. Everything created on the earth. Oceans and seas, land and the breeze. God saw that everything was good. Some say the world is God's garden. Beauty for all to enjoy. In the beginning, God looked around and wanted to make something new. First there was darkness, then came the light. The earth was made in 6 full days. God rested on the 7th day. Oh, God saw that everything was good. Everything created on the earth, oceans and seas, land and the breeze. God saw that everything was good. God saw that everything was good. God saw that everything was good. Have a great day.
Well, I hope you had fun at day 5 of our virtual VBS, and I hope that you'll join us again tomorrow for day 6. I invite you to join me in a closing prayer. Dear God, you were here before there was a here. You made everything, especially the creatures of the sea and the birds of the air. You made us too. Thank you for your creativity and the diversity of the world around us. Fill us with your love that we might care for all that you have made, like you care for us. We ask all of this in Jesus' name, and all God's kids said, Amen.